Gentlemen, welcome back. The first time they go offense, they take Jordan Love? They take Jordan Love!
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up CP3.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul, baby. Right, Will?
Nope, I totally disagree. Look. Welcome back to Conti and Nick, episode number 67, another day of Conti and Nick. I'm Will Nicholson, and as always, I have with me a Busch Light Ken. And you know, we're ready to do the show today. I actually don't know where Gino went. He was here 30 seconds ago when I said we're going live, but I guess we're just promoting a Busch Light Ken. Oh, there he is. As always, I'm joined with the Busch Light Ken and Gino Conti.
And the actual Busch Light.
And the actual Busch Light. Gino, you know, we got to start getting some sponsorships going. Busch Light, hit us up.
Coors Light is my go-to, right?
Me too.
But every now and again, you're feeling a good Busch.
A good Busch.
Ladies, no man like the Busch.
Jesus. Anyway, Conti and Nick, we're back. Yeah, you know, I am glad that I adapted to drinking beer, drink responsibly and only of age. You know, Conti and Nick, we're all legal. We're both 21. But you go out to bars now and you try and like get a drink of something that isn't a beer, and it's like $10-11. You end up racking up a tab. I still stick with my $5 beers, Conti. I love them.
I will say though, high noons are very good.
I've never been much of a seltzer guy.
So it's not a seltzer.
What are high noons?
It's a vodka. It's a vodka thing.
Hmm?
It's a vodka soda. It's not.
That's what a high noon is?
Yeah, it's a vodka soda.
I never knew that. I thought it was a seltzer. I don't know.
So I will say, like I said, like beer is now my go-to, but high noons are very good. I every now and again a good high noon, excellent.
Okay, I
will say that. I mean, I urge you to go try it, and like now I kind of want to, you know, just go take this adventure with all of you and go to what's it called? Go to Total Wine and just buy a thing of high noons.
Of high noons, yeah.
But let me tell you something. It's like it's weird because I'll admit it, like I first started off with like White Claws and Trulies and everything. But once you adapt to beer, it's like you can't go back to seltzer.
It makes it so much better because they're cheap, and I don't know. Like I always feel kind of like full when I'm drinking a beer. So it's a nice thing to just kind of do and relax. Yeah. It's just like it's a nice thing to do and relax, and like, you know, you're watching a football game on like Thursday night or something. You know, you have a beer, the boys order some food. It's a good time.
Would you agree with that though? It's kind of like once you go from seltzer to beer, you can't go from beer to seltzer.
See, I'm the wrong person to ask that because I don't like seltzer, period. So I never even started with seltzer.
No, so yeah, well, I know you started off with Budweiser, right?
Bud Light, yeah.
Bud Light. See,
and then I adapted to Budweiser. I know, but it's got to be everyone's first beer, you know?
No, Coors Light's the go-to, man.
Oh, Coors Light is the go-to, but
my first ever beer that I really ever tried when I tried getting into beer was Blue Moon, and
that's a tough one to get into.
I know, and that's kind of it turned me off from beer for a while.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? I gotta get the palate for this. Yeah. I knew I gotta get a palate for it, and I go, what is my family like? I go, what is like a good suggestion? And after a while, I asked, and they said Coors Light, and I knew my dad and my family for as long as I've known been drinking Coors Light, and now would you look at that? Apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Exactly. Yeah, my mom did the same thing.
I'll sing that with a glass of Busch Light in my hand.
My mom did the exact same thing with a Busch Light. I was like, Mom, what was your go-to beer back in the day? She's like, oh, Coors Light. You know, pretty much any drink that your mom drinks is good, for the record, because they're usually not very expensive. And if your mom likes it, I mean, chances are that your gremlin ass will like it. So, it's the truth.
My mom actually isn't really a beer person. You know, I've literally been like, Mom, like just take a sip of Coors Light. It was my birthday. I go, Mom, make this like an extra birthday gift. Just take a sip of beer. Like that's literally what you have to like how to entice her to have a sip of beer. It's like do it for my birthday, please. But no, she's the type of person who'll get a glass like this, or like more like a red Solo cup. She'll pour the Truly or the White Claw into it, put berries on it, mix it up, and sip it from a straw.
Yeah.
I'm like, please. I go separate tab for this lady. I don't know her.
Separate tab for this lady. Oh man,
I don't know her.
Gino, we got some football to talk about today. Should we do a little NFL review first, or
no.
should we talk about the fantasy trade first? Because that's something that I'm also trying to get into a little bit.
Talk about the fantasy trade.
All right, so this morning, I made a trade in fantasy football in the league that me, Gino, and kind of all of our friends that are mostly from Weymouth. We do a little league, and a trade was made today. I'm gonna pull up exactly. I think I remember it off the top of my head. So I traded Matthew Stafford, David Montgomery, and Garrett Wilson. And in return, I got back Joe Burrow, Kareem Hunt, and Terry McLaurin. And honestly,
I think you won that trade.
Okay, let me say this. Honestly, I think it's very even. I think it's a pretty even trade. I see. I want to say that I won it, but I think it makes sense for like both of our teams. Like Cam, it was with Cam Tate. He has like too many wide receivers. He's got Godwin on the bench right now, so he can afford to kind of give someone like that up. I have Robert Woods and just a bunch of pieces on the bench he wouldn't necessarily like. And I was willing to move on for Montgomery and get kind of I guess you could call it a quarterback upgrade with Joe Burrow. But I got into it with my roommate D'Lo a little bit earlier. He was saying that I lost a trade, so I want to put a little poll up on the Instagram maybe later tonight and see how everyone's feeling. I think I did because the way that I look at it. I look at what offenses that they were both in. And okay, Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford, pretty even in my opinion. That's a pretty even trade-off. I think Burrow's going to have a better year, but who knows. And then you have the two guys, the big pieces that I gave up, David Montgomery and Garrett Wilson. I traded a Jets rookie wide receiver at his highest point and a Bears running back. And in return, I got back Terry McLaurin.
David Montgomery's good.
Yeah, but his production has been way down these first two games. And he's not getting the same volume, though. What made Montgomery so good is that his volume was insane. He was carrying the ball 20 times a game, and he was catching passes out of the backfield. They've been going to Khalil Herbert a lot now, so it's more of a split backfield, and you start to see that production kind of fall off. And don't get me wrong, Kareem Hunt is by no means like a high volume guy, but he scores the ball a lot, and he's that backfield.
Running back in fantasy right now.
Right now he is, yeah, and I think that's going to keep up. And Garrett Wilson, I don't see that being sustainable. I don't. So
I will say, I don't know how much you won the trade if Garrett Wilson continues to produce similar to that.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Yeah, no, that could for sure be tough.
I did say earlier, selling him at his highest point was smart. So, and I do stand by that. But again, if it is a little risky, I will say, because if Garrett Wilson stays at around the 20 to 25 mark, because 30 every game is a little unsustainable.
Yeah.
If he stays around the 20 to 25 mark, you kind of gave up a good one there.
For sure.
Gave up a good one.
For sure. I don't think he's going to hang around there because, first of all, you got Elijah Moore. They've got really good running backs. And the Jets aren't putting up, 30 points a game, probably the rest of the year. Like, it's not going to happen. And Joe Flacco's throwing on the ball. When Zach Wilson gets back, I don't know.
Joe Flacco's good.
He's really not, but all right.
Joe Flacco is a good quarterback.
Joe Flacco was a good quarterback.
He is a good quarterback. Joe Flacco was good.
What do you consider good, though? Like, where do you rank him?
I think that he could be a starter.
I've
always thought that about Joe Flacco. I really
even right now.
Yeah.
Okay, who are some guys who you would start Flacco, or you would put Flacco in front of them right now in starting teams?
Jared Goff.
No way. Okay, fine, go.
I almost just said Joe Goff. Joe Flacco, honestly, the way it's looking at this very moment in time, Jameis Winston. I go at this very moment. I go. This is just a week 2 take, not for the rest of the season. Just like how it's been looking on week 2. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then possibly, I don't know. There's not a lot. I'll say there's not a lot because honestly, a lot of teams have quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I think that he could start on a couple of teams.
Yeah, but at that point,
maybe the Falcons.
Maybe the Falcons. I think he would start on the Browns too. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's true. But I mean, sustainability wise.
I don't know if that makes him a good quarterback though.
I think that he's pretty good. I really and truly do think that he is a playmaker. He is a playmaker for sure.
He's a diet Kirk Cousins, I think, but
a little bit worse.
A little bit worse. He's just kind of like that old breed of quarterback, like that 2010 pocket passer type guy, which we still see a little bit, but I feel he was like a true.
They're all retiring, man.
Yeah, they're all going. Breeze, Big Ben,
Phillip
they're all
Rivers.
gone. Yeah, no, they're all gone. The quarterbacks we grew up with. I'm excited, and I'm definitely more excited than you. But I'm excited for this new age quarterback. I think they're more entertaining to watch.
Where the pocket passers still win.
Yeah. For now, we gotta let this new little system flourish. A lot of these running guys are super young, so.
All I'm gonna say is look at the 2 guys that were in the Super Bowl last year.
Okay, but in the next 5 years. 5-10 years, we're not going to be talking about that anymore. We're going to be talking about the Josh Allens that won the Super Bowls, the Lamars that win the Super Bowls.
Hold on. There's a difference between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
What? Wait, what? What is the difference?
There's a complete difference. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are 2 completely different quarterbacks.
Not really.
Yes, they are.
No, look, don't get me wrong. All right, Josh Allen's way better. I'll say that.
Lamar Jackson's a run-first guy. Josh Allen's a pass-first guy who has elite running ability. There's a difference.
I don't know.
There's a difference between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson's play style, 100%.
I think it's a lot similar than you're making it seem like. It's a lot.
For Josh Allen, absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
But, absolutely. But what's his first priority? It's to pass the football. Lamar Jackson's first priority is to run. That whole entire offense is structured around Lamar Jackson, and they have an offense structured around Josh Allen for sure. But they get there's a difference. They get weapons for Josh Allen. They get weapons that cater to Lamar Jackson's play style and that cater to that Ravens offense. They just get pure weapons for the Buffalo Bills and for Josh Allen. There's a difference.
I don't know. See, I feel like, dude, Lamar has been playing extremely well. I'm sick of this whole Lamar can't pass thing. He was throwing dots in that Miami game.
I'm not saying he can't pass. What I'm saying is
he's a run first. Yeah,
he's a run first quarterback.
See, I think that Josh Allen. I don't think that he's a better passer than a runner. I think he's phenomenal at both, and they can kind of pick their poison. With him. But my point still stands. We're going to be looking. Josh Allen's still the new aged quarterback. Like we haven't seen many guys like Josh Allen before historically.
Yeah, but like now,
he's a part of that new breed.
Now, like the best quarterbacks in the league right now are guys who are pass first, but also have that elite scrambling ability. At least
sure.
Elite scrambling ability. Like the people who are still amongst the top tiers of quarterbacks are the people who have that elite scrambling ability, but their first inclination is to pass the football.
But still, my point still stands that we're in 5 years we're going to be looking at we're going to be looking at how we kind of see these pocket passers growing up. I feel like that's how we're going to look at a lot of these quarterbacks now. We're going to look at the Lamars, the Josh Allens, and that type of mobile aspect.
We'll never see Lamar Jackson in the Super Bowl.
Okay, what if all right? So you don't think Lamar's going to win a Super Bowl?
You will never see him in a Super Bowl.
Okay, so when he wins a Super Bowl, what wage are we putting on this? Because this could be like a 10-year thing.
$10.
This could be like a 10-year thing.
$10.
How about this? If in Lamar Jackson's career, he starts and wins a Super Bowl, Gino Conti, you must go and purchase a Lamar Jackson jersey and give it to me. However, if Lamar goes his whole career without winning a Super Bowl, starting and winning in a Super Bowl, I will give you a jersey of your choice on me.
No, I'm not doing it.
That's a great bet.
I'm not doing it.
This is gonna be like over the span of like a 10-year bet. well, we might have kids by the time this is settled.
Hey, guess what? And Lamar Jackson might actually still be healthy enough next year.
All right, fine, $10. I'll do the $10 bet.
$10.
Sure, $10. I can't wait in the year like 2028. Gino just hands me a $10 bill. Who knows? Maybe dollar bills won't even be a thing then. It'll all be Bitcoin.
I'm not participating in any Bitcoin either. I'm not doing any metaverse. I'm not doing any stupid virtual reality. I'm not doing any of that. Guess what? I have my reality right here. It's right in front of me. I don't need a virtual thing that is exactly the same as what is in front of me right now.
It is crazy. It is crazy to think about.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But Gino's very old soul, so I don't know.
I'm not old soul. I'm just telling you, I don't need a virtual thing of what's exactly right in front of me.
But you're not interested in like what it would be?
No.
Really?
Fair.
I'd be interested to see what it's like.
What do I need? What do I need a virtual world for? I have a world right here.
Because it's technology. Like technology has advanced so much to give you a virtual world. I don't know.
There's a difference between technology and then just stupid stuff. In VR, and all this Bitcoin and all these what are they called? The
cryptocurrency.
The virtual.
Oh my God!
NFTs.
Yes, NFTs.
Those stupid NFTs. I don't even know what they're called. Like
non-fundable token or so. I don't know.
Yeah, like what are you paying? 50 to 100 to 1,000. People have paid thousands of dollars for little things that they can get on their phone when people can just screenshot it.
Gino, I don't know how to tell you this. People have paid hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars for NFTs.
Okay, yeah, it's stupid.
No, I'm agreeing with you, but I just you said thousands. I'm like, unfortunately, people are paying way more for those than just a couple thousand.
People can literally just screenshot it.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, you have the property and you have the rights. Okay, guess what? Click screenshot. I also have the picture.
You ever seen people be like, you can't screenshot the Mona Lisa? Like that's their thing. Like,
oh really? Look up the Mona Lisa right now. Go on Google Images and then click the volume button and then click the power button at the same time and see what happens.
Wow. Then all of a sudden you have the Mona Lisa. No, but I think stuff like that. See, the thing is, I'm agreeing with you. It is stupid. It is ridiculous. However, I'm intrigued. Like I want to see what it's like.
A waste of time. It's a waste of valuable, precious hours.
And it may be, but I'll never know unless I'm in that virtual reality. You know, I will never know.
Just talking about football. Will.
Yeah, we got football. So Gino, we had a great week of football. A lot of comeback wins this week. So let's go through some of the games here, and I want to know what you think. So we'll start with the Thursday night game. We had Chargers and Chiefs. Lamar Jackson got hurt, and Patrick Mahomes starts off 2-0, and I think he looks like he's back to having his great September.
I think you said Lamar Jackson.
Oh, my bad. Herbert got hurt.
But don't worry, you'll be saying that later on in the year too.
Okay. Mahomes got his second win of the year, 2-0. And we see this a lot from Patrick Mahomes and especially Andy Reid. More historically, they have very good Septembers. But I want to know from this win, how legit do the Chiefs look to you, and kind of what's your whole review on this game?
I will say that I'm cautiously impressed because obviously, listen, as much flack as I give Mahomes, he's an elite level quarterback. Okay, I'm not stupid. I know that. I don't know, to be quite honest with you, how sustainable Patrick Mahomes' performance is at this very moment. Because listen, we have been saying that Juju and Mark and MVS and Sky Moore and all them, really and truly are good depth pieces. They believe me, I know they have Travis Kelce still, but at the same time, they are still missing that element of Tyreek Hill, like just the deep ball, just chuck it up down the field when something else, when there's if all else fails. You could argue that they're still trying to get the play of the system and still trying to get comfortable and get their chemistry. And I'll give you that. I'm not going to argue against it and say no, they'll never get it down. But I am cautiously impressed with them because I don't know if they'll be able to keep up this, level of eliteness right now. I think that towards the end of the season or towards the mid end of the season, they're going to have to win a lot of games on defense. And that's my opinion.
And you don't think that are we still not high on the defense of the Chiefs, or what's kind of the word with that?
Well, I'm very impressed with what they did in the offseason for the defense. I'm saying I like their defense.
Okay.
I do.
All right. Yeah,
Karlaftis has looked really good.
He has looked good. And I'm glad that he looks good too, because he was someone we were high on.
Yeah, and McDuffie's hurt right now. I mean, he just sounds like a Steeler, but
he does sound like a Steeler.
But McDuffie's hurt right now, so I definitely think that will be a big upgrade to that secondary. Brian Cook, their second rounder, got a personal foul on a special teams play, but I think he'll be an impact player down the line. And they got Carlos Dunlap, who's a reliable veteran, who's more of a rotational piece now, but still on limited snaps, can give you some of his premier talent. Chris Jones is still really good, elite. Frank Clark is a dependable veteran. Nick Bolton's a really good second-year linebacker. Willie Gay is actually a pretty decent contributor as well. So they have themselves a team on defense, actually. And that's the thing. I like the way that they've built that defense, and I think it's going to be good for a little bit.
I like it. All right, so we talked a little bit last week about the Patriots versus the Steelers, and I picked the wrong game. The Patriots were able to pull out a win versus this Steeler team, but Gino, I gotta tell you, I'm still not impressed with this offense. It still looks very lackluster to me, but I think this was a very Bill Belichick win and a very Bill Belichick game where you kind of let the other team beat themselves and you capitalize on mistakes and you just make less mistakes than the opposing team. And that's what the Patriots were able to do. I don't think this is anything special. And don't get me wrong, I sent Gino the the video on Twitter of the Felger and Maz parody where they're just like, oh, like even when the Patriots win, they suck. But I'm still not super high on this Patriots team. Yeah, I'm not ready to buy in and believe. Maybe just yet. That I will say, I think Mac played okay. But that Aguilar ball was extremely underthrown, and I'm happy that Aguilar was able to get that out of there. But that could have easily been a pick. But I don't know. Gino, what do you got? I'm still not high on this Patriots offense.
Not bad for a coach who's past his prime, huh?
All right, let me get this clear. Offensively, I think Belichick has fallen behind. Defensively, he can scheme up a defense as well as anyone ever.
I mean, you just gotta give it time. You just have to give it time, man. That's it. Yeah. You have to give it time.
What Belichick or this whole team?
Offensively. Defense, we're gonna be good. We're fine.
Yeah.
We hold that team that's just gotten the shootout with the Baltimore Ravens to 13 points, and then you hold the Steelers to 14. Our defense is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Offensively, I do think definitely next year we need to get an offensive coordinator. We absolutely do. But we're still gonna figure it out. We're still fine. We're like you said, it's lackluster, but we will be okay. We'll progress and we'll get better and better as the season goes on, and we'll win games on defense. We'll be fine. I have us starting off really strong at the beginning of the year, actually.
So who do we have next week? What's the schedule looking like?
Baltimore.
Okay, so that's a tough game, especially. The Patriots struggle a lot against mobile quarterbacks, I feel like.
If we beat Lamar Jackson with Cam Newton as our quarterback, we can beat him with Mac Jones as our quarterback, and I'm picking the Patriots to win this game.
That's fair. All right, yeah, I can ride with that. What are the Ravens? They're not 0-2, are they? They're 1-1, I believe.
I believe they're 1-1, or they could be 2-0.
They are 1-1. They are 1-1.
I personally don't care. Either way, even if they were 2-0, I'm picking the Patriots to win the game.
I like it. So I'll decide with the Willie Nick picks of the week, but we'll get there. We'll get there with that. So Gino, there's a team that we have one of these every year, a fake undefeated team. The New York Football Giants are 2-0. Gino, talk to me about it.
I haven't been very vocal about it, so a lot of people could accuse me of hating or like just picking. Oh, they're 2-0 and being a bandwagon, but sneakily, I've always been a fan of Daniel Jones. I really and truly have been. At the very beginning, I was questioning the Giants for not taking Dwayne Haskins, but it didn't mean I disliked Daniel Jones. I thought that he was a very pro style guy. He could make some plays for you, and somebody who really could just be like a decent, really contributor and a decent starting level quarterback for any team. And so far, I think that hasn't been the case due to the inept coaching. I don't think Shermer was a very good coach at all for him. I don't think McAdoo, I think his name was, I don't think he was really that good at all either. And Joe Judge, was a special teams guy who didn't even get a chance to be an OC or DC. He just got thrusted into the head coach role, and then what does that tell you? I think with Dabble, like a legitimate offensive mind who just came from coaching an elite level offense and almost made it to the Super Bowl, one of the best games we've seen in a long time. I definitely think that Dabble's really got his fingerprints all over this team. Everyone's really committed, and I think Daniel Jones, while not being spectacular, is finally making the plays that contribute to winning football. And winning heals all wounds. So
Yeah, I think realistically, it's very possible that the Giants can start off 4-0. I think it's.
I don't know what their next two games.
So I'm looking at it right now. So they have the Cowboys.
They could
not
win. They could.
So that's next Monday. So that's a primetime game.
Monday night.
Yep. So the Cowboys have been looking tough, and then the game after that they have the Bears. So
Okay.
Who knows? And then the next game's the Packers, and then it goes Ravens. So who knows? They have honestly. I'm looking at it. Gino, they have a really easy schedule. All right, ready for this?
Name some more. Yeah, name some more.
Okay, so after that Bears games, they have the Packers, and then they have the Ravens.
I think they'll lose to the Packers.
And the Ravens, I think. I think they'll lose to both those. But then these are their next games. After that, they have the Jaguars, then they have the Seahawks, then they have the Texans.
Not so fast on the Jags. They looked really good.
They did. Don't get me, but like those are winnable games for the Giants. Like, and then after that, Detroit. I think they probably lose to Detroit.
We'll see.
Yeah, so we'll see. But then they play the Cowboys again. This is in November, so maybe Dak's back by this point. Who knows? Then they play the Commanders, the Eagles, the Commanders again, the Vikings, the Colts, and the Eagles. I'm just saying. It's
that's actually not tough of a schedule.
Is it right? Like that's not that awful of a schedule. I mean, with how some teams are looking right now, I mean that could. Are we really talking about the Giants being a potential playoff team? Not to jump the gun, but like, Gino, those are some very winnable games.
Someone needs to pour me another beer. This one's empty.
No, but am I crazy for saying that the Giants could have a playoff shot?
You're not crazy.
Purely just off schedule.
For what we've seen in the past 2 weeks, you're not crazy, and with that schedule, you're not crazy. But I'm just gonna say, let's see.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see, because like I said, I did just praise them. And like I said, I've always been like a sneaky Daniel Jones fan. I don't really think that he deserved all the flack and the criticism that he was getting. Honestly, and if it keeps up like this, and like I said, he continues his decent but not great play, I'll vouch for him just like I vouch for Jimmy Garoppolo. And
yeah,
I mean that.
That's fair.
And you know how much I go to bat for Jimmy Garoppolo.
I know. So that's the next game we'll talk about, actually. Because Trey Lance unfortunately got hurt, and we talk about all the time, like, Trey Lance is gonna be that, Trey Lance is gonna be that. I'm the type of guy where I hate seeing injuries regardless, even if it's a player who I don't necessarily like. So I hope that he's all well, but this does mean that Jimmy Garoppolo is back for all of our eyes to witness. So. Gino, Jimmy G, able to pull out a win.
Oh wow!
So I mean, what does this mean for the?
So in all seriousness, I've been the anti Trey Lance guy in this 2-man show. And I will say that it's not really pleasant to see that he got the injury that he did. And I really do wish that, if it meant me complaining about him all year for him being out for the year. I wish he would stay healthy and me be complaining about him the whole year. I would not like to see him injured. And I really and truly wish him nothing but like this fastest and speediest recovery possible. Because like you said, even if it's someone you don't like, you don't want to see them get hurt.
Yeah.
So and I do want to say that, but just if last week or if this past week was an indication of anything, the 49ers are going to be pretty solid.
Yeah.
And I have a question for you, Will, man. Like, if the 49ers make some noise again and make it to the final 8 or 4 in the playoffs, what's the argument going to be next year, man? For the whole Lance and Garoppolo situation.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be way harder than it was this year, because this year it was, okay, like, Trey's ready, let's throw him in there. Jimmy G is going to, digress, and he's going to get worse and everything like that. But honestly, if Jimmy G can pull off another, like, top 4 finish, he is in the NFC. We got to keep that in mind, so it's weak, but if Jimmy G can make a run, it's going to be a really hard conversation. I'll say that because, Trey, in theory, by their theory, is ready to go right now. But Jimmy G is winning you football games, and now Trey is coming off of a season-ending injury. So in a perfect world, you would say next year, we're going to run it back with Trey and keep Jimmy as the backup. I think that's incredibly unlikely, especially, Jimmy's contract is up, and, who knows where he's going to want to go. But I think it becomes a more difficult conversation. I still think they ride with Trey Lance. You don't trade up that high for a guy to not believe in him. So, who knows? But I do, kind of agree with you here. It's going to be a tough conversation to have, especially if Jimmy plays well.
And here's the thing, like, I'm not saying that it will happen. I'm not saying that the 49ers are going to make it to the Super Bowl or the NFC title game, but this is more of just like a theoretical, like one of those what if questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to make predictions. I'm not going to say, because, the prediction that I made for my Super Bowl, AFC team,
it's not looking too hot.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot right now. I think I'm going to have to hold the L on that one unless something really happens.
Hey, but, Frank Reich teams always start off slow and then they pick it up, so I don't know.
We'll see. Time will tell. But really and truly, I mean, I know what you're saying, and you're right in theory. Like, you can't trade that high up for a guy, if you're not going to start him. But how can you deny a quarterback who, if it happens, 3 out of the last 4 years makes it to the final 4 of the league? Like, just how hard it is to make the playoffs in the NFL is, it's extremely difficult. And then the pure fact that, like I said, 3 out of the last 4 years, you make it to the title game and then the Super Bowl in 1 year. I mean, that to me shows signs of a quarterback who not only can just read your offense, like, run your offense and do it well, but have it catered to winning football at almost the highest level possible in the world.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's going to be, I think, a difficult decision for the Dolphins, sorry. The 49ers. If Jimmy G plays well, it's going to be tough. But that's a conversation to be seen in the future. Man, did we have comebacks this week in the NFL? We have the Jets coming back from 30-14, I believe, with like a minute 40 left in the fourth quarter. That was insane. We had Miami come back from 38-14 or something ridiculous, and then ended up winning 42-38. And we had the Cardinals come back on that later window on the Sunday game, push it to OT and end up winning 29-23.
My 37-0 prediction wasn't.
Yeah, it was looking good for a while. The memes were at an all-time high because, Gino, I think I mentioned it to you, the stat, maybe on the show actually, of Kyler Murray's stats when it comes to Call of Duty double XP weekends.
You told me
there's an actual chart that Kyler Murray's stats go down every single time a new Call of Duty or it's a double XP weekend for Call of Duty. He always plays significantly worse. This weekend, the beta for Modern Warfare 2 came out, and Kyler started playing awful, and I was like, oh my god, here we go. And that's what it was, but, Kyler was able to lead 3 touchdown drives in a row. Gino, you have been notorious to not being a fan of Kyler and Cliff, but what are your thoughts on this comeback?
Well, they beat the team that I predicted to go last in their division. Big whoop.
But the Raiders could be legit.
Well, yeah, if they make up the 0-2 start.
I think they could.
They could.
We'll pull up the Raiders schedule.
That's
so they have the Titans and the Broncos and the Chiefs, Texans, Saints, Jaguars. Wow, that's actually tough.
The Raiders or the Cardinals?
Raiders.
Lost to the Titans.
Okay.
Who was next?
Wait, hold on, back up. Lost to the Titans?
Yep.
Okay, then the Broncos?
Loss.
Chiefs?
Loss.
Texans?
Loss.
Come on! Saints?
Loss.
Jaguars?
Loss.
The Colts?
Loss.
The Broncos again?
Loss.
The Seahawks?
Loss.
The Chargers?
Loss.
The Rams?
Loss.
The Patriots?
Loss.
The Steelers?
Win.
The 49ers?
Loss.
And then the Chiefs again.
Win.
So you have them going 2-15. That is what the Raiders are gonna go. 2-15.
I said they're gonna be lost in the division, right?
At 2-15.
Yep.
With Devontae Adams, they go 2-15.
Yep.
All right. Well, make sure you follow us on Instagram, on TikTok.
This is just one of my foolish moments.
And just like that, I mean, if you guys want to watch the rest of the podcast on YouTube, because you're obviously watching it on TikTok right now, because it's a clip.
The Raiders are going to go 7-10.
That's still pretty bad.
They're going to go 7-10, in my opinion.
Okay, so can we admit that they're going to beat the Titans?
Honestly, it's a maybe.
The Titans just got blown out. Come on.
By Buffalo. LA got blown out by Buffalo.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's going to be tough. I'm not going to say that they're going to lose, but it's going to be tough. Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, they all come from the Patriots tree. They all know each other very well. They know what they like. So it is going to be a dogfight.
Fair. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about that Dolphins and Ravens game, because I've been on the record of saying that people give Tua too much crap. I don't think Tua's that bad of a quarterback. People, like to.
No, I agree.
I think that he throws a very accurate ball. Don't get me wrong. All the stuff that Tyreek Hill has been saying, that Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the league, and that he'd rather Tua over Mahomes. I mean, that's because they're paying him, hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, that's just the reality. Yeah. So that's the reality of that. But Tua looked really good in this game, and people are still like, oh, but Matt Flynn had a good game. And I'm like, when does this guy win? When does this guy? He beat a really good football team. The Ravens, put up 38 points. They're no slouch of a team. Lamar was playing out of his mind. They took the opening kickoff for a touchdown, and now we're sitting here and we're just gonna pretend like, oh yeah, but Matt Flynn had a good game. Is that what we're doing with young quarterbacks now? When they have a crazy game like this, we go, oh, but Matt Flynn and Johnny Manziel had this good throw too. Like, is that what we're doing right now with all of these QBs? I don't buy it. I don't buy people who talk like that. So
Tua's not going to go off for 6 touchdowns every night, but he's definitely He's definitely somebody who every week go out and throw about 270 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's more than capable of doing that every week.
We got to keep in mind the offense that's around him too. He has an offensive-minded coach. He's got 2 of the best weapons in football that it's looking like. He's got a more than reliable tight end. His running backs both look dynamic, and I'm seeing on talk shows today people are like, oh, but we knew Tua's numbers were gonna go up. They had to. We'd be going crazy if his numbers didn't go up.
There is some truth to that.
Oh, 100% there's truth. But and I'm saying that we can't just discredit everything the man does now. Like this, did anyone go into this year saying that Tua was going to have a 6 touchdown game? If I told you in the beginning of the season Tua was going to have a 6 touchdown game, if you told me that, I probably wouldn't believe it. Yeah, we're seeing real improvement from this guy. He's a good quarterback. I don't know. I don't understand the Tua hate.
I've always been a Tua fan.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, like in the draft class, it was 2020, I believe, right? Like that was his draft class. Like, yeah, that was with Herbert. Yeah, Herbert and Burrow. I thought the Tua was going to be better than Herbert because Herbert at the time, let's not forget, was viewed as like a developmental guy.
Very raw.
And the fact that he was, so good so early was a major surprise. So at first I thought, like obviously the Alabama doesn't have the best history of quarterbacks, prior to Jalen Hurts and Tua and Mac Jones, but Alabama quarterbacks are accustomed to like that pro style offense. They know how they prepare their players to go to the NFL. And I thought that at least right off the bat, Tua was going to be the better quarterback. Obviously that's not the case. That ship has sailed on that take. But still, like Tua is still a more than capable starter in this league. And 6 touchdowns for him, not sustainable. Let's be real. That's
100% it's not sustainable.
But like I said, I could see him always being around like the 270 yards, 2 to 3 touchdown per game mark. Like there's nothing wrong with having a quarterback like that, especially with the weapons that you have. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, I don't think so at all. And I gotta say, even the deep balls to Tyreek, people are criticizing. Like I don't where does the Tua hate come from? Is it because he doesn't have like this big amazing arm that where he can just yuck it down the field? Like I don't know.
Well, it's because we're in the generation of instant gratification. And if somebody isn't great right away, then that means they suck for eternity. And that's just wrong. Some people just need time. And let's not forget, in Tua's rookie year, he had a game against the Rams, who at the time were Super Bowl contenders, and he went off for about 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he was dealing with a major hip injury, or it was either hip or back. I don't remember, but it was a major hip and back injury that was hindering him at the time. Last year, he was solid, but he was still dealing with the effects of that injury. And now this year, he finally had a full off season under his belt. And guess what? He got a bunch of brand new weapons. Well, not brand new. I mean, Jalen Waddle's in the second year, but still relatively new.
And Tyreek Hill, yeah.
He got an elite wide receiver. He got a new running back core. And he got, still working with Jalen Waddle. It takes some time for players, especially when they're playing hurt. He would, let's be real. His rookie season, Tua was playing hurt. And then he had, the flip-flop with Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's more on coaching for making the decision. It's like when you call up a guy from AAA baseball, right? It's when you call up a guy from AAA and you say, oh, okay, we really don't like the way that, I don't know, who's a player on the Red Sox? Alex Verdugo. We don't like the way Alex Verdugo is playing right now. We're going to call up this kid. And then it's like, never mind, kid. You didn't do a bad job, but we want to put Verdugo in now. And up back and forth, back and forth. That's on management and that's on coaching. It's not because the kid played bad. It's because it's an indecisiveness of the GM/coach. That's not Tua's fault. And for some reason, Tua gets the blame for that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't understand where the Tua hate comes from. And it's it's tough because is Tua some crazy game changing, gonna change the history of the NFL quarterback? No. Does he deserve to be replaced in this year's draft? Absolutely not. He's easily a starting level quarterback. And he's cheap right now too. I've never understood where the Tua hate comes from. He's got some what is that plays every single time, but so does
Who
Mahomes.
doesn't?
Exactly,
Who doesn't?
exactly. And then, but his are the ones that make Twitter and everyone's like, oh, get rid of Tua. He's got a weak baby arm. He can't do this. He can't do that. I don't know. I don't roll with all that. I don't roll with they don't have a big enough arm. If you're in the NFL, your arm is fine. That's where I stand on that. Some guys throw it further than others, but I don't know. So I wanted to talk about the Ravens game a little bit.
It's ridiculous. Like I said, it's absolutely ridiculous because we live in a generation where you're expected to perform and be great immediately, or else you're terrible.
Yeah.
And if it's not the case, like I said, bye. And it's stupid. It's stupid.
That's fair. So we have Gino. I want to talk to you a little bit about this. And this will probably wrap up the rest of the show in theory. The Detroit Lions are an entertaining football team to watch, and I don't know what to do with myself.
Why?
It's different, Don't get me wrong, I'm here for it, but it's just something I'm not used to, because the Lions are A, always bad, and B, always boring, and they don't look bad, and they also are extremely entertaining to watch. And you know what, Gino? I'm starting to like your take that they could be a playoff team more and more every day.
You were saying that when we had Sean Wally on the podcast. That
I did, yeah.
That he should be fired.
I didn't say he should be fired. I said if we had another year of...
Wait a minute. In the headline or on the thumbnail, his picture was up there.
Yeah. I put everyone we talk about in the thumbnail. Come on now. Everyone goes on the thumbnail. But, and I will say, yes, I was on Campbell's case a little bit. I was like, how much can we talk about? Oh, it's the team, and when does it become Campbell's just not a good coach? He's broken out of that. This team has been playing extremely well. And, I said in that moment they were referring to when we had Sean Wally on, if we had another year of bad Lions performances, like another 4-win year, then yes, they should consider firing him. But
I disagree anyways. I disagree with that point anyways. Because you have to realize, like, in a league, especially in this generation where so many players are only playing for themselves and their own personal thing, like their own personal self-image and their brand, whatever, when you have a man who's able to galvanize everybody and who's able to really have everybody invest in your message and have everyone play for a team cause rather than an individual cause, that is priceless. And even if the team isn't that great, he's not the general manager. He doesn't get to decide who's on the team. He just coaches the players that are on the team. And it's like Brett Brown. Like Brett Brown, for the longest time, they did the right thing with him. For the longest time, he had, the terrible 76ers squads who purposely lost. And then when he finally got a squad, they gave him 2 years. They gave him a chance. And turns out he wasn't the right man for the job. He really wasn't having them take the next step that they wanted. So they fired him, and that's the absolute right thing to do.
Yeah, and you know what? As an Amon-Ra St. Brown fantasy owner, if Dan Campbell keeps feeding this man, he can have his job forever, and I'll stand by that. Man, did he have himself a day. And I'm so glad he did too, because I was so high on him. Obviously, I will say, this whole 9 reception, 100-yard, 2 TD type game, that's sustainable, in my opinion. I think he can keep doing that. The 2 carries for 68 yards, that's probably not going to stay around. The 2 carries for 68 yards probably won't be around anymore. But still, if Amon-Ra can give me a solid performance, who knows?
When Jameson Williams comes back, because there's no way that they trade up 20 spots for him and they don't make him a premier part of the offense.
I think he more replaces Craig Reynolds than anyone else.
No, man. They got... Well, yes, on the depth chart, more guys go down, but at the same time, like I said, there's no way that you trade up 20 slots in the draft pick not to give this guy the ball a lot. So I'm willing to see how that's going to affect Amon-Ra's touches. It may not at all, but I'm just telling you, I'm curious to see how it affects Amon-Ra's game, or at least his touches.
I'm intrigued by that too, about when Jameson Williams comes back, because dude is fast. like
I mean,
Tyreek Hill level fast. Like it's wheels.
so what do you think about the Eagles, man, beating the Vikings?
Yeah, the Eagles had a big win too against the Vikings. Oh my God, you should have seen me. So first of all, and I'm gonna do nah. You know what? I'm not gonna call anyone out.
Do it.
No, it's not worth it.
Do it.
Nah, it's not. It's not
Well,
worth. It's not worth. Because nah, it's not even worth it. Anyway, I'm watching the Monday night football games last night. I'm watching with my good friends, Colin Ames, Tom DeLory, Chris, Adam, Dylan, all the boys are all there, all the BSU rugby boys, and we're watching the game. I was losing my mind at Kirk Cousins. I was going absolutely berserk. It might be the worst Kirk Cousins game I've ever seen. It was like awful throw after awful throw, and like he has Justin Jefferson to throw the ball to, and Justin Jefferson was open so many times, and Kirk just missed him like by a mile. I was like, also in fantasy, I was down by 4 points in the fourth quarter, and I needed that 4 points to come from Justin Jefferson, Dallas Goedert, and the Eagles kicker, and I didn't get any. And I was very upset for, it ruins my Monday night. No, but seriously, like
from players 4 points, that's terrible.
It was bad. But from aside from a fantasy kind of point of view, Kirk just played awful. Like genuinely awful. And this is the more that I see performances like this is why I'm like they need to move on from Kirk Cousins.
Well, he's just more so of a like he's notorious. Like the thing with Kyler Murray, the double XP.
It's the Monday night, yeah.
Whenever it's prime time, Kirk Cousins is terrible.
Sure. And now he's 500 and he's on the brink of being below 500. So he's probably gonna 300 yards and 3 TDs next week because that's how he operates.
Of course it is.
But I don't know. But when I see things like this is when I'm like, they need to move on from Kirk. And not immediately, but they need to start thinking about his decision. And don't say Kellen Mond, because that's not the answer.
Kellen Mond's not even on the team anymore.
Oh, he's not? Where is he now?
I don't even know, but he's released. So
okay, well, good. I thought you were going to say Kellen. I didn't know he wasn't on the team anymore. Be like, Kellen Mond, man. That's the guy to replace him.
I never said that. I never vouched for Kellen Mond.
No, I know.
I was just saying, they drafted a guy, so he's probably the guy that they think, but clearly not because they cut him. So that's all I was saying. I wasn't saying, oh my God, he's going to be the GOAT. I'm just saying that, they clearly have high hopes on him, or else they wouldn't have drafted him.
Yeah, no, I know. But, they got to start looking for a little quarterback replacement, I think. Not immediately, but I think it should be a position they scout this year and maybe take a high upside guy and, the third or fourth round to see what they got.
Well, I particularly have one name in mind that I'm thinking of coming up in this year's loaded quarterback draft class. Who, you got the Bryce Youngs, you got, everybody. Quinn Ewers is his name.
Yeah.
You got all them, but one guy in particular, like I said, that's not getting enough talk and, really should be. I think you know where I'm going with this, right?
I might.
If you're thinking what I'm thinking, I'm thinking the guy that you're thinking I'm thinking about is the name of
John Bro. Peace, everyone. I'm gonna post the Willie Nick picks of the week later, probably tomorrow. But yeah, take care, everyone. Peace out.
Boosh.